All right, Lagos, it is 17 minutes gone to 5, and you are tuned into the marketplace where we get to share everything about interesting landscapes when it comes to businesses and what's happening basically in the market. And today's not going to be any different. Why do I say it's not going to be any different? Well, whilst we'll be talking about the market, we will be talking about something that you've probably had a challenge or two about. What am I talking about? Today, we'll be dissecting Nigeria's insurance sector. Yes, I said it. So we'll be taking a look at what it is, what it holds, and all that good stuff. And my guest that's joining me this evening is in the person of Ikeoluwa Alabi. She is a research analyst at Afrinvest Research and Consulting. Good to have you, and I trust you're enjoying the holiday nonetheless.
Yeah, thank you. I am. Thanks for
Uh,
having me on the show. Yeah.
All right. Good, good, good. As always, Lagos, you can come through if you have any thoughts you want to share, or lessons that you also have gained. Please come through. Questions? Hey, all the better. But let's even get into the conversation itself because, like I said, some people have, when it comes to insurance, they're a bit skeptical about it. But I think the first place to start is why Nigerians have such a low insurance penetration rate. What exactly is the reason behind this?
Okay, yeah. So to start with, Nigeria's insurance penetration rate is estimated at around 0.4%. That's at 2024. And
Okay.
this is despite our population advantage. Nigeria have a population of over 200 million. Now, compare it with the insurance penetration rate of barely 1%. That means less than 2.5 million of Nigerians are actually are actually insured, while the remaining
Mm,
are not, insured. And also, when you compare it with like sub-Saharan African peers like South Africa, Namibia, Zimbabwe, and even Kenya, the number is really unimpressive. Now, a lot of factors have actually contributed to, or actually contributing to this low insurance penetration rate. One of which is awareness. That's we have lack of awareness, low awareness, and limited digital literacy. When we look
okay.
at majority of Nigerians are not, digitally literate. They don't really know what's going on. So just imagine, most people don't know what insurance is. They just hear of it. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it offers. They don't know what's available to them. They've never seen it in action. So you really can't
Mm,
expect people that, they don't know about it to subscribe to it. Now, another major challenge or reason is also lack of innovation in the sector, in the industry. There's little to
okay.
no innovation in the insurance industry. Just compare the product innovation in the insurance industry to the innovation in the banking industry. The
Mm-hmm.
banking industry is actually as a result of the rise of the competition from the rise of fintech, but really it's actually serving an advantage to them. But when you compare the level of innovation, it's really different. Like the gap is really there. So
Okay.
then moving on, another factor or another challenge that is actually causing this low penetration rate is the informal sector dominance in Nigeria. Now, the informal sector accounts for about 58% of Nigeria's economy. So now when you
Okay.
look at the breakdown of the informal sector, we have individuals and small businesses. Now, majority of the small businesses, they actually operate outside regulatory oversight, so they don't care about insurance. Some of them don't even know it, which brings us back to the conversation of awareness. Some of
All
them don't even
right.
know what insurance is. We also have some cultural factors. We also have there's this particular issue, distrust. This is arising, this is from historical issues of delayed claims or denied claims. Some people
Okay.
have not experienced it, but I'm very sure you've heard of it that some people
Yeah.
say, oh, my brother probably subscribed to a particular insurance policy. Then when it's time for him to collect his claim, they're
They're
like,
not there.
oh, probably it's not ready. Come back in 7 days,
Mm-hmm.
come back in 1 month. So really, that distrust is actually in that sector. So those are some of the, so these are some of the reasons why we have low insurance penetration rates, why most Nigerians are actually not interested in, the insurance industry.
But even at that, right, I know that we still have a lot of insurance company. My question is, which clients are sustaining the sector? Because I hear some ads and I know that they're there. But if we have to look at the sector, which ones are they catering more to? And maybe that's why they have more clients in that sector.
Yeah, so okay, so like I mentioned before that, okay, the informal sector, constitutes majority of Nigeria's economy. So essentially, the insurance industry is actually catering to a very small client base, really, and their corporate clients, all these large multinationals like banks, telecoms, oil and gas firms, manufacturing firms. So what these insurance companies do is, they sell high value policies, large ticket policies to these companies, so to rake in premium volume. So really, that's what they do. Then another part of their clients base, we also have government institutions. Majority of these government institutions, they procure insurance for their employees, more like it's compulsory. So that's actually part of their clients base. And also these development institutions, like all these development finance institutions. So whenever they want to do a project, insurance is actually part of their intervention, either in agriculture, in healthcare, or in infrastructure. Whatever projects they are doing has to be insured. So those are also part of their, clients base. Then there's another thing. We have regulatory driven demand. So I'm very sure you must have heard of this motto third party policy. So it's like legally compulsory. It's legally required. So you have no choice. You have to do it. So that's also part of the insurance company clients base. So more like you just have to do it. We also have the health insurance, which is the HMO, especially the HMO. So these are some of the clients that, the service. That's why we still have a lot of insurance companies in the country. Yeah.
Which makes sense because, hey, if you're driving a car, you have to have insurance because third party is mandatory. Even if you don't want to get the premium ones, you have to get a third party. So I guess maybe that one is why they're thriving. And when you also spoke about HMOs, I think there's also the fact that you have different plans now that even the out of rich person, I'm talking like the trader can actually have access to, and then they I've seen some where they have collaborations with telcos to make it easier for them to access. So that's actually a great one. Well, I hope that they're able to make their gains from this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is something to look at. But now let's even talk about the stock exchange market. It said that there are many insurance companies that are on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Why does this sentiment exist? Are there supposed to be fewer?
So really, I would say the sentiment is not about, a lot of, too many insurance companies on the stock exchange. The sentiment really is about too many underperforming and illiquid insurance companies. So really, so just imagine we have about 21 insurance companies on the stock exchange, and just very few of them are actually, they're actually, performing well. They're able to attract significant investor attention, and most of them, just few of them are actually, generating revenue that is actually, equal, that is most likely equal to their minimum capital requirement. So many of them are actually not performing well. That is the major sentiment, not about the number of insurance companies in absolute value, is the number of insurance companies that are not performing well. That is actually the major sentiment about, around that conversation. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, so it's not that, you shouldn't be there. It's just that you're underperforming. So why do you have so many people on that platform? Yes, good question to actually ask, because Yeah, if you're not doing well, why do we have you there? We're supposed to be projecting for more growth, but
Mhm.
hopefully with conversations such as this, we'll see how they improve over time.
Mm.
And mm, I I know that I've heard certain platforms collaborate, but what is the latest with the efforts to consolidate insurance firms? Because I know that sometime last year, I heard some had merged together to
Mm.
bring about a new body entirely. I'm not going to mention any names, but
Mm.
I'm sure you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I do. So consolidation has actually been, part of the agenda for a very long time now. Okay, so when we talk about recapitalization, the commission has come, with capitalization plans. Some have failed, some got suspended. I think the last one, 2019, it got
Hmm.
suspended to COVID in 2020. So really, the
Okay.
last successful recapitalization that we've had in the industry was in 2003. So, they've
Oh,
been, they've been coming, with different plans, but either they fail or get suspended. But last year,
right.
so the commission announced fresh plans to, consolidate and recapitalize the insurance companies
The
in the
insurance companies.
industry.
Yes.
Exactly. So, and I think late last year we had the Nigerian Senate actually passed the bill, and also in March this year, the House of Senate also passed the bill. And then also in parallel to the bill they passed is the insurance industry reform bill. So in parallel to that bill, which is the commission, the organization in charge of insurance industry, also
Hmm.
released its own exposure draft. That's the insurance risk-based capital regulation. So more like they are going to merge both together, for the consolidation process of the industry. So they also, they released their own exposure draft. And in the industry reform bill, that's the insurance industry reform bill,
Right.
they actually have plans to raise the capital for life insurance from 2 billion to 10 billion. That's for life. Then for non-life, which is the general insurance business, they want to raise it from 3 billion to 15 billion, while for reinsurance from 10 billion to 45 billion. Now when we hear those numbers, we'll be like, from 2 billion to 10 billion, that's like
Right.
400%
Bro.
increase. So we understand that, okay, so the leap in the base capital, the capital base is actually huge, but it's actually needed. Years in between. Imagine from 2023, 2003 to
And three.
2025.
Oh,
Just imagine when you convert that 2 billion, 3 billion, or 5 billion, when you convert it to dollars, it's actually nothing. So insurance companies in Nigeria can't even, stand, beside other insurance companies outside the country, really, because
right.
their capital base is actually very little. So we see this consolidation plan, this capitalization plan, we see it as a very welcoming development. And we hope that once it's successful, we hope that to really, because we've been hearing plans of, the previous ones they've been failing, but we hope that this one is successful, and we believe that it's going to open greater opportunities for the industry, really, even in global terms. Yeah.
All right. Actually, fingers crossed on that one. And whatever thing that they get to do, I'm hoping that it will turn out to
Mhm.
be as this industry is hoping for. But before I let you go, quick one in a minute or less. What's your outlook for the insurance sector in 2025?
Uh, okay. So the outlook for insurance industry in 2025, the outlook is majorly hinged on the recapitalization process, really. So we hope that.
Hmm. Okay, you're back. You're muted though. All
Okay,
right.
sorry.
Oh, okay. Please go ahead. Go ahead. Quickly wrap
Okay,
up.
Okay, so I was saying that the outlook for the insurance sector in 2025 is majorly hinged on the recapitalization process for this year. So though they've not, released guidelines, or how they've not, released guidelines on how they want to, carry out the recapitalization process, but we hope that, we see that very soon. So really, once the recapitalization process falls in place, you see stronger players acquiring smaller firms.
Entities. Yeah.
So thank you, smaller entities. So we hope, so really, the outlook is actually cautiously optimistic. We are cautiously optimistic about the sector because it is majorly hinged on the recapitalization process. Because if you look at it, I think last year to this year, I think there was news about the recapitalization process. We saw, the insurance stocks, their price going higher. In 2 weeks, they did 24.7%. They gained 24.7%, really. So, and even when you compare it with the banking recapitalization, also that time, the news of the recapitalization, we saw that banking stocks were actually, spiraling. So really, we hope that the same will happen for the insurance sector. So yeah, that's it.
All right, thank you so much, Ikeoluwa Alabi. She's the research analyst at Afrinvest Research and Consulting. Thank you so much for, dissecting how the insurance sector is looking at. And I trust you have yourself a pleasant evening preparing for tomorrow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, Lagos. Catch